I remember in 2013, I worked with this woman. She had gone through a lot of toxic relationships, and she finally met this amazing man. I mean, she was bragging about him. I met him. He had seemed amazing. I'd been over their house for to eat and all that stuff. And she was so happy. She was living her best life after all she had been through. They split the bills, okay? So it got to a point where she decided to change up her career. And she wanted to go into a totally different industry and give it a try to see, what she could do. So when she accepted this new job, it was going to be a pay decrease for a short amount of time for a probationary period, as a lot of companies do. And then once you get past that probationary period, they would increase your pay. And they put that all in writing for her, so she knew it was valid. So she tries the job, and before the probationary period ends, she hates it. She's miserable. She's coming to us, her former co-workers, and telling us almost in tears about how much she hates it. So she tells her husband she hates it. She's not happy. Her husband's like, okay, you can quit for a little while, but make sure you find something else. So her job search is unsuccessful. And her loving, amazing husband begins to become mean and selfish and easily annoyed and argumentative. And one day she comes back to us and tells us that her amazing, beautiful blessing of a husband, frustrated, came to her in the midst of her frustration at her not being able to find a new job, and says, "You need to find a job." Exactly like that. Now, mind you, she's just as frustrated. She's in tears. She's frantically sending out several resumes a day, going on interviews. In her free time, she's, picking up around the house and trying to do extra to compensate for the fact that she can no longer contribute financially. All of a sudden, her wonderful blessing of a husband becomes depressed, and he's pulling away from her. And now she doesn't know what's wrong. If you are contributing 50% more or all to the bills and the household, let me tell you a little bit about men that a lot of you seem to not know. If there's nothing else that they're going to do, it is preserve themselves and their well-being. Your loving boyfriend, your amazing husband, is amazing because you're bringing in your 50% more or all of the bills, okay? I can guarantee you that once you stop bringing in that money, for whatever reason, it could be because you want to change industries, you want to take a break from your job, you become sick, whatever the case may be, I can guarantee you that if you stop bringing in that money, just like what happened to her, that's going to be what happens with your husband or your boyfriend. There's this misconception that if a woman is not necessarily financially dependent, she might still have her own stream of income. There's this misconception that if the husband pays all the bills, that she's going to be screwed. And that might be the case. But here's the truth of the matter. If your husband is depending on you to pay the bills, or depending on your 50%, you will also be screwed. Now, if a woman is financially dependent on her husband or boyfriend, and she doesn't have any other sources of income, her being screwed over is going to be a lot different from your being screwed over, but screwed over you both shall be either way. If you're paying for all the bills, then, you'll be able to continue on if he loses his fucking mind, whatever the case may be. If he's dependent on your 50% and you have no money saved, and y'all need each other's 50% to survive, then you're going to probably be just as screwed as the woman who had no other financial plan as well. So all these women who are complaining that they have a wonderful husband and they go 50-50, they have a wonderful boyfriend and they do what works best for them, I promise you, if that 50, 60, 70, 80, or 100% stop rolling in, they would not be with you. They would not be so wonderful. Okay, I've witnessed this happen too many times. to know that the odds of your income drying up going in your favor will not go in your favor at all. The odds are not high for you. So instead of bragging about the fact that you and your man are doing what's best for you and you love giving 50%, I want you to sit and dissect whether or not it really is best for you. And would he still be so amazing if, for whatever reason, you could not bring forth your 50 to 100%? 50-50 relationships are the bane of my fucking existence. And before I even dive further into this video, I will never be in a relationship with a man where I will have to pay all or 50-50 of jack shit, even at the height of my pick-me face, before I got some fucking common sense, confidence, and boundaries in my soul. I still, even at that point, didn't do that. So that should tell you something. The biggest mistake that I made, however, when I was in those relationships, is that I didn't have a backup plan. That's the biggest mistake that I made. So while I will continue to not ever be in a relationship with a man where I go 50-50 on a shit thing, the difference is now that I will still have my own source of income and money saved. And I think that's the mistake that a lot of women make. Women should strive to be in relationships where, yes, you should be happy with the person. Yes, you should be attracted to the person. However, I think you put yourself at a major disadvantage if you're not in a relationship that benefits you greatly, because men will always be in relationships that benefit them. Whether you're extremely attractive and you're the trophy wife, whether you're the woman who's going to bear their children and give up your career in order to boost theirs up and make them look like this amazing family man, whether it's financial, whether it's just they're using you for sex, whatever the case may be, they will always pick someone who will benefit them. So I think we would be crazy not to put our self-preservation at the forefront and be in relationships that greatly benefit us.